when I was introduced to the patches, I had recently had a rotator cuff surgery. I had had two eye surgeries due to some growths called pterygiums in my eyes. I had two in each eye, and so they had removed one in each eye. And I had just received the news that I was not going to be able to have another surgery to remove those at the time because I was also diagnosed recently with rheumatoid arthritis. And a friend of mine introduced me to the patches and said, "Hey, you should try them." And I thought, well, I can't have any surgeries, and there's really nothing at this point they can do for my eyes. So why not? I'll try them. So I tried them for a few months, and I was kind of one of those that, I mean, I was very skeptical because I thought, what is this little band-aid going to do for me? Like there's just that's not going to do anything for my eyes. And so I tried it for a few months, and I honestly, like, I did notice that I was sleeping better and I had a little more energy, but I wasn't noticing any changes in my eyes. And I really didn't know enough about the patches at the time. And so I stopped. I stopped patching because I thought, well, they're not working. So, I mean, this is, in my opinion, I was like, this is a waste of money. Like, it's not doing anything for me.
Right.
And then I kind of went probably about six to 7 months, and I had started having a lot more health issues. I was struggling with rheumatoid arthritis, so I had recently been diagnosed with that, and I was having lots of joint pain. I had been diagnosed with disc degenerative disease in my neck and my back, so I was struggling to I don't have I'm missing cartilage in between two of the vertebrae in my neck, and so it compresses on a nerve, and so it was very, very painful. And I had gotten to the point where I was in so much pain that I finally went in. I was getting steroid injections every 3 to 6 months in my neck just so I could live. And then I started having severe joint pain, just struggling to do normal things. I couldn't open doors, I couldn't open jars, I couldn't go down the stairs very well. It was affecting my life. I wasn't able to go to games with my kids. We weren't able to do the normal things, that people do. We couldn't go to the beach. We couldn't go outside and, play. I couldn't do things. I was in so much pain. And one weekend I came home and a friend of mine, I was talking to her on the phone, and she said, "Well, what about those patches? You have some of those patches left over from, when you had used them a while back." And I said, "Oh yeah, I do." And she said, "You should put those on." And I was like, I mean, I can try them, I guess. So I put them on, and I was wearing a couple, I had a couple on. I will say I had X39 and Eon on and Ice Wave. But I hadn't been wearing them for very long. And so I went home one day from work in so much pain I could barely move. And a friend called and said, "Hey, I have someone that would like to come patch you." And I was like, okay. And so she called me up and she's like, "Let me come patch you." She lives in Napanee, which is about 45 or 30 minutes from me. And I just thought that was weird. I'm like, I already have a couple patches on. They're not working. And she's like, "No, I want to come patch you." So she came and patched me. We had about probably 6 or 7 patches all the way from my right side of my hip to my left side of my hip, all the way across my back. But long story short, like literally within 4 days, I was able to go back to work. My pain, it took time. It really took time, but I kept telling her, "I'm going to have to go into my doctor and have an injection in my neck because that's the only way that I can survive." And she's like, "That's fine. Just keep patching, just keep drinking water." And I was like, okay. But long story short, I've been patching a year now. And within 3 months, I was able to reduce a lot of the patches that I was wearing. I didn't need double ice wave patches um, be, because I was starting to not be in pain. And in the process of that, I will say that I had a meeting with my rheumatologist, and she had put me on some pretty nasty medication that had a lot of side effects. And I had been on it for about a month, and I was having some issues, but I was none of the medication that she had put me on was working. And so the doctor called me after doing some blood work, and she said, "I need you to go off of that medication ASAP." And I was like, okay, if the doctor's calling me, that's a problem. Because usually if the nurse calls you, it's not a big deal for your test results. And so basically she told me my liver enzymes were very elevated, dangerously. They were 746. And when I
Wow.
asked her what norm, yeah, when I asked her what normal was, she said 35. And I was like, oh my word. So I told her, I said, well, it's kind of funny that you want me to go off of it. I actually went off of it about a week and a half ago because I wasn't having any results and I was struggling, like I was just struggling and I didn't want to be on this medication because of the side effects. Long story short, I had been patching in this time. So I started about probably a month from like pretty much from her phone call. She did another blood work about 3 weeks later. And when I went in to see her, she said, what are you doing? Like, you've got to tell me what's going on because like your numbers have come back just in 3 weeks. And she said, I've never seen someone's numbers drop this quickly. And I said, well, I mean, I'm off, I've just went off the medication. And the only other thing that I've changed is I've been patching. I've been wearing these patches. And she's like, what patches? And she asked me what they were. And so we talked about it. And she said, well, she said, you need to keep patching because she said, this is crazy. She said, your numbers went from 746 to 36 in 3 to 4 weeks' time. And she's like, there's no way that medication is out of your system. So all of that to say, I'm off all my medication. I'm not taking my blood pressure medication. I don't have any more medication I'm on for my rheumatoid arthritis. My joint pain is completely gone. Now, I will say it does. Sometimes it rears its ugly head. There are times it will come back, but it's only there for a brief amount of time and then it's gone. And so I feel better. I'm sleeping better. I'm able to do things with my family. I feel amazing, and the patches truly have given me my life back. So I'm so grateful.
And if I'm looking at your synopsis, what about the vision? Your vision is how's
Oh,
your vision?
so my vision, I will say that it's not cleared up yet. It's
Okay.
only been a year for me. And I mean, in listening to your testimony before, I feel like I probably have another year. I mean, I've got quite a bit of damage in my eyes. And so the pterygiums that came back, that regrew, they're pretty nasty. So I think it's going to just take some time. But I will say, in all honesty, I haven't been back to I go back, I think next month to my eye doctor, but I will say that I can tell a difference. Like I can see some of it has cleared up and I am seeing a little better. So honestly, it's working. But I mean, if my friend didn't say you need to patch again, I gave up too soon. But I didn't know. I just didn't know. And so I'm so grateful that I didn't give up. So,
No, that's great because
yeah.
the magic does start at that year mark, which is you've been on it for a year. Your journey now really continues to be in the healing piece, going on to your second year, because that's really where my magic happened for me was my second year. So you're
Mhm.
definitely on that right track, and you're definitely going to continue to see the benefits coming towards you. So definitely appreciate you coming on tonight, Christy. I don't know anything that you want to add. You have just another minute or two, but I don't know anything you want to add, but definitely appreciate your time and coming on here and just sharing your story because it's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you, David. The only thing I would add is again, I'm grateful that somebody took the time to share the patches with me. Because I mean, I can't tell you how miserable I was and how much of life that I was losing in my opinion, at such a young age. Like I was missing out on life with my kids and with my family. And so I just feel like I have my life back and I have my health back. And I just want to share this with everybody. I want to help people because so many people are hurting. And this is a natural way to do that. So I'm grateful.
Since you mentioned your age, tell us how young are you?
I am 52. So I'm 52, although I felt like I was in my 80s. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
kidding you. I was just miserable. I just felt like I couldn't do anything. So I honestly feel now like I'm in my 20s, like I have energy again. And like I said, I have my life back. So I'm grateful.